Hey guys, welcome back to the SensorPop channel. Today we have a deck profile with this guy. No, it's not SS3, but before we begin the video, there was two announcements to make. First thing is, last week if you have noticed that there is no video upload, no, the channel is not, I'm not on vacation, the channel is not closing down. Oh, it's just that we had some technical difficulties. So there's a new mic here, no mic, no video. That was easy, the mic wasn't working, had to get a new one, so this is it. And the second thing is, this video it's gonna divide it into two sections. The first section is I'm just gonna go through the cards. These are mainly for the new players who would like to know what the card does, or those who just wants to get into the game. And the second section of this video is I'm gonna go through how I pilot the deck. Of course, both of us are gonna pilot it very differently. It's gonna be different from person to person. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna provide a blueprint and talk about the synergies between the cards and the scenarios where I would play the cards. So that's that. And so let's talk about this card. So I brought this deck to the tourney, and it did pretty good. Of course, I wasn't in the top 4. The problem is I actually lost a game due to dice roll. So let's talk about the results. The first game was against SS3 blue-red aggro. So the blue was just there just to untap the energy and stuff like that. So he was going full out aggro against me. I went 2-0 against that. So I won 2 games. He started, I started, it doesn't matter, I won. So the next game was against SS3 veggies. Yes, let's talk about diversity. So it was SS3 again, and I won a game, he won a game, and the last game was down to clutch because it was last 6 minutes. So we were going really fast at each other. The problem is I don't have a lot of attacking options when it comes to that. So when it starts about taking life, it was difficult for me to take his life because that's how the deck was being built up on. So one thing to note, time limit, play a little bit faster, or make sure you hurry your opponent up if that's even possible. So what happened was that my board was full. I had Dragon Fist, I had my Piccolos up, I had my Vegito. Most importantly, my defensive options are up, and his board was cleared. So I cleared his Kappa and everything, and the time's up. And both of us are in even life, and then it was down to a dice roll, and I lost because of that. That's pretty sour. That leaves a very sour taste in my mouth, because I think I could have taken the game just because of how the board was looking at and the options that is available to him. But of course, that's life, take it. Third game was against Mira Cell Chain, pretty good player, and I could have beaten no cards in hand means nothing. So I lost 2-0, and the last game was against Marseille, and I won 2-0 against that. So that was that. So but because of my losses, the 2 losses, 2-0 and 1 against dice rolls, which they consider as a full loss, so I didn't get any top 4 because of that. But I think I deserve some, but it's still fun. And let's talk about deck tag. Alright, cool. Okay, I'm small here now. Okay, so the leader is this, right? This guy. Okay, this guy. So the leader is this. When he it is awakened side. So unawakened side, when he attacks a leader card, you get to draw 1 card. So 4 or less, you flip and you get the 2 energies back. So that's a good part about why do you run him against SS3, more than just SS3. Being SS3, it's everywhere. It's just like a training whale leader. More than just that, he does have his good points if you're running mono blue. The reason why, it's because on his awakened side, unawakened side, you could draw cards. On his and then you could flip and do your big plays with the 2 extra energies. So you could play a Vegito out, flip him, get your 2 energies back, and things like that. So you could be very defensive with him, get the card draw. Honestly, while playing with this card, I fell in love with it. I thought it just gimmicky, but in the end I kind of really fell in love with the card. So on his unawakened side is this Iron Vow, Trunks, right? Of course, when this card attacks, you get to draw a card. At the end of your turn, if all your energies are blue, you get to untap two things. One, it's one of your battle cards, 3 or more, and you get to untap one of your energy. So that's that. You don't get to untap 3 like Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku, but you get to untap one of your battle card and untap one of your energy. Honestly, once you get into the late game with this, if you manage to get to 4, 5, you are good to go. The reason why is I'm gonna tell you that in the end, this guy has a lot of advantage. So his advantage is this. Number one, he doesn't start with 6 life. He starts with 8. You get to draw cards, you get to prolong the game out, drag the game out, especially against the aggro format. You can drag the game out just to defend yourself. Of course, you are not as fast, but there are some ways that we can circumvent that and try to make it work. Alright, let's go to the cards. Okay, the first card is this, Dimensional Banisher Fool. So overwhelm 5. So you need 5 cards in your drop, just overwhelm it. You play like 1 energy, it gets double strike. When you play this card with overwhelm, choose one of your opponent's battle card and send it to warp. So it does not have a cost in terms of, oh, the 5 or less, 4 or more, and things like that. No, it doesn't. When you play him, just pop one of your opponent's battle card and send it to warp. So that's kind of great. And so this out there to remove all the very big threats on the table. So the legendary flute, of course, if your leader is blue, which we are, choose up to one of your or your opponent's battle card with energy 3 or less and return it to your opponent's hand. If that card was your own battle card, draw a card. And we play energy boosted Majin Buu, 4 copies of it. When you play this card, draw a card, self-explanatory. And with coercion, this is a negate, so negate the attack. And we play 4 copies of Sensu Bean. Sensu Bean you have to play when you're blue. Choose one of your battle cards. It gains 5,000 for the duration of the turn, not just for battle. And this is not combo. So if people play things like Combo Breaker Anilaza, so you can play this because it really just pumps you up without comboing. So you're not technically comboing and it stays for the duration of the turn. It really helps you to stay alive and gives you back more energy. Thus, broken blue cards in the game right there. That's why it's here to stay. Courageous Heart Yajirobe. He is 2 energy, he is a blocker, and revenge. So what is revenge? And if this card is attacked, not that you attack the card, if this card is attacked, KO the attacking card after the battle. Alright, it's there to get rid of menacing threat. And for example, if this guy can't take care of it because the card has barrier, this guy can take care of it once the card swings into him. Alright, we play 4 copies of the Piccolo Super Combos. We play 3 copies of Objection. Objection is you choose 1 card from the hand and add it to your energy. On the strategy side, I will just talk about why we play Objection instead of the West Supreme card. Off Control Tapion, he is your awaken option. So when you play this card, you may choose 2 cards from your life and add it to your hands. If you choose to do that, choose up to 2 cards, so you can take 1 or you can take 2, helps you to awaken. If your opponent decided to stall you, choose up to one of your opponent's battle card with energy 5 or less and place it back onto your opponent's deck, which is pretty good, especially if you're dealing with things that has no barrier. Just put it up there, back again, and let's see. But I seldom use this deck because my opponent always never fails to awaken me, especially with this aggro format. So Raging Spirit Son Gohan, we play 4 copies of it. At the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, he's basically called a free hand. If your leader is blue, which he is, and you play this card in rest mode. So play it defensively. I always play it defensively unless you are going for game. When your opponents attack you, especially with those critters, you know, those things that hits for critical, but he doesn't combo, tap 1, bring him out, and use him to hit your opponent's back later. One of the best card in the deck. When this card comes out and your opponent literally sighs. The reason why is because, I'll tell you, permanent. If your leader is blue and this card is in rest mode, this card gains barrier and your opponent's card can't attack your leader card. So basically, when this card is in rest mode, your opponent cannot hit your leader. So he really protects your leader, and it's much easier to combo a 20k out of it and than anything. And if your opponents commit to it, double strike critical doesn't really work. The reason why is because he is just a battle card. So you really negate keywords like triple strike, critical, counter, cannot counter and stuff like that. It doesn't matter because even triple flash cannot do anything about this card. Yes, triple flash has the ability to KO this card, but the difference between this card and your battle and your leader card is his triple strike, his cannot counter, doesn't work. So he can do a lot of things about it, but he will just KO this card. That's it. He has to get to your leader again, right? Okay, let's talk about the next card, Piccolo the Strategist. He is a critical, he has barrier. And choose activate main, choose up to one of your opponent's battle card with energy cost equal or less than your energy and KO it. Then for the duration of game, negate this skill. So it's a one-time skill, it's activate main, so you get to pop one of your opponent's battle card with energy equals to your energy or less than it. And he's a critical and he has barrier. So your endgame finisher is here, the Dragon Fist SS3 Son Goku. Barrier, double strike. When this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle card, ignoring barrier. So he doesn't care about barrier. Return it to your owner's hand, return it to its owner's hand, and choose up to 2 of your energy and switch it to active mode. So you can play this safely at 6. Swing, return one of the cards to your opponent's hand, like Blocker and Anilaza, Kami, Piccolo, and then you get to untap 2. It's safe because you have 2 energies in the end. And we play 4 copies of the super combo. So this basically is when you evolve into this card or you combo with this card, you draw a card. You will never place this card down and swing with it. You just tap 1 and combo it and draw a card just to keep your hand size up. Alright, now let us talk about the strategy. Okay, so how do I pilot this deck? So how do I start with this deck is this. On your starting hand, I want to see the Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. I want to see a free hunt, this Raging Spirit Son Gohan, and I would like to see an objection. This is not exactly something that you really need, but I would love to see it. If I don't see it, that's totally fine. And if I see Vegito, I will never put it back, so he's nice to have, but you don't have to hard mulligan for it. Things you want to hard mulligan for is Unbreakable Super Saiyan and Raging Spirit Son Gohan. The reason why is this: you want to go to game 3, you want to go to turn 3 and turn 4. Turn 4 you're pushing it, but turn 3 at very high life. I'm talking about 8, I'm talking about 7 or 6. You want to keep it there. The reason why you want to drag out the long game. And the difference, how I choose to use this and this, it's based on only one criteria. Is your opponent swing at double strike or crit? So for example, things like if he is playing red aggro and he swing with crit, I would use this just to handle the critters. So when someone swings with critical, I will use this. But if someone just swings normally, I will not use this. I will just take it and make my hand size up. So that's how I'm playing it. And if you have something like a free this guy, I would play it because you get someone on board to hit it back. So for example, if someone swings with a Kappa, if someone swings with the critical trunks, right, the 1-drop critical trunks, I would use this guy instead of this guy. The reason why is because the next turn you want to take out that Kappa, you want to take out that critical trunks, and this guy does a better job than him, because this guy, if you use this guy to swing at their critical trunks or their Kappa, their 1-drop Kappa, you don't get to draw a card. But so you need someone like that to swing and try to take him out, swing at the leader to draw the cards. Alright? So that's how I start the early game. And if objections is in your hand, you play objection and you pump up your energy. You ramp up your energy, you want to get to 3, you want to get to 4 as soon as possible. And the reason why I play objection over West Supreme Kai is basically because of 2 cards. The first card is this guy, awe-inspiring Intimidator as his Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, because he has this clause. When you play this card, if you have 5 or more energy, you get to draw a card. So if you play using West Supreme Kai, you get not to draw a card. That's that, alright? And so I want the card draw, I want to play it at 5, I want to play it safe, I want to play him at 5, that's why. And Piccolo the strategies. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle card with energy equal or less than your energy and KO it. If you play West Supreme Kai, you cannot really use that account and say, okay, I have energy, I have 6 energy, but no, 3 of them it's West Supreme Kai. You can only pop something 3 or less. So this 2, it's really highly dependent on your energy when you want to play it, alright? And another thing is this, that West Supreme Kai is susceptible to Zeno. So if you have 3, 4 West Supreme Kai, you get to use it only one time and meet it. If you swing it with him, if you swing with when you tap West Supreme Kai, people would take him out the next turn because it's only a 5k. So that's that. And also when someone plays Zeno, West Supreme Kai is gone. Honestly, in my opinion, in this deck, objection is the way to go because of this guy and this guy. Alright, so things is, if you put this guy out, you really slow the game down because your opponent has to waste 1 turn to pop your card, or your opponent has to do something just to pop it, or your opponent has to play his card properly and not swing until he has the option. So place this card down and slow the game. You know this guy is gonna get popped because no one is gonna swing his big creature at him, but you want to make him waste a turn, waste a play just to get around this guy. So your end game is never this guy, your end game is this and this guy, but this is how you do it. Another thing that I do is when I play this guy, he is your untap option because you swing with him, hit with crit, then you untap one of your energy and untap him. When this guy is out, swing with him, untap 2, then end turn, use him to untap him and use his ability to untap. So no matter what, when this guy is out, minimum you have 3 energy to defend. So by that time, you are SS3 Goku with the ability to untap a barrier Dragon Fist that bounce opponent's hands back every single turn, and then they have to deal with Vegito no matter what. So your Sensu Bean should use with Vegito just to pump it up to 25 and then use whatever you have just to combo out of it. And if there's something on the board which is nasty, you have to take him out before you have this guy, or he has energy that is beyond this guy, like for example like Cell, like Mira, the gigantic Mira. Use this guy to come out and just pop the card out of Oblivion. Alright, so that's that. That's how I pilot the deck. I almost never play him, he's almost a free energy, but somehow you need cards like that in your area. So some of the cards that you should play when you are some of the cards option. So for example, people are talking about Sneak Attack Vegeta. Great card if you feel comfortable that you don't need a Self-Awaken option when you're against a certain archetype of deck. Sub him for Sneak Attack Vegeta. Great card at 3 costs and you get to untap with him. So it's difficult to take him out. For the early game pressure, it's pretty good. And there are several options for him. So for example, if your opponent is playing green-blue lock, for example, like Anilaza and Kami, you need to take him out, change him for the Bardox, that is 5 and 1, I think it's the same, or just 5 itself. When you play this card with Overwhelm, you get plus 10 and it can attack active battle card. So 30k swing at active battle card just to take him out if you need it to be. And of course, if you're playing against Veggie, change it into Saiyan so that you can do this mass popping that you need to take out the Karpas and the Cauliflas so that the KO comes in and she's not as powerful as she can be. Alright, So these are all the options that I have. Thanks for watching the video and stay tuned for more. I do have something that I'm working out on, and I really like it. That's something that I really like it. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this leader as I have. So see you guys next time. Ciao, bye.
Need to be damage.